What's up, guys? Ever wish you were in the big studio, having the monitors there, and turning your head and hearing the acoustics from the room, the walls, uh, knowing what your mix is going to sound like on mid speakers and the big woofers? Well, here's Abbey Roads plug-in here, Studio 3. This is the revolutionary plug-in. I'm excited to talk about this thing, man. You pop this in on your headphone, put this on your master bus, put on your headphone, and it literally takes you in the room. I'm not lying, man. I tried this thing out, man, and wow, you can make professional decision and get that professional sound right from home. And I also want to talk about Submarine from Waves. This is a beast, man. Add that big low end, man, to tear your chest apart, man. So let me get down to it, right? So, Waves Abbey Road Studio 3, the guys has built this plugin to mimic the room, and it's powered by NX by Waves, so you can track your head movement. I have a picture on Facebook with tracking my face, and let's say I turn to the left, you're gonna see the room turn. Like check this out, see it. You're actually gonna hear the sound because you're in the room, like 3D. And you can hear what it sounds like. This is the legendary room, and you're at the sweet spot. So you can hear what your mix is gonna sound like on these two studio speakers here. If you click on mid, you're gonna hear what the tracks sound like on these kind of speakers here. And if you click on far, you're gonna hear what it sounds on these subwoofers. And here's the thing: when you click on far, you literally hear the subwoofers in your earphone. Like, it adds that harmonic sub to it. So when you're mixing, gonna stay on near, right? You wanna listen to these, and you can turn your head, and it's gonna turn also with you. And man, you're gonna look around and feel like you're actually in this room. Man, it's crazy. It's scary. So you might say, Ray, man, enough of that talk, man. We want to hear what's going on with this plug. And also, I want to talk about mastering, right? I have a competition here. I have Britney Spears' song from her Glory album, and I have some NLS plugins here. I'm going to be talking about how you can get that big analog sound, and I believe everybody wants to get those hardware, those UAD stuff, and man, go crazy with it. Yeah, but some of us can't afford it. But technology is here, and we can capture that analog sound in our mix. Now, that doesn't mean will these plugins sound the same like the analog. Some of them come pretty close, like real close, and some of them people can't hear the difference. But after a while, analog, like say you buy original 1176 and somebody else has one too, the hardware, that one might not sound just like the other one, because they're transistors, they're tube capacitors and stuff. So plugin has come a long way. Can you live without analog plugins? Analog hardware? Yes, you can. So I'm using T-Rax here. I'm using a number of plugins to achieve this big fat sound. So I'm gonna turn off my chain, all my chain that I'm doing here. I'm gonna get rid of this soft tube plugin. I'm not using that, and I'm gonna only use what I have, and I'm gonna show you how we get that big sound. So let's play the mix. This one from Bastic here. It's on Sound Competition, and let's see what we got here. So I'm gonna play the track here.
Go, go, put your one in the air and jump. Rocks in the air and jump. Flags in the air, foot off the ground. Bounce where you at and jump. Put your one in the air and jump.
Let's talk about the room first. I know you guys are probably excited to want to see what's going on. So imagine I have and I would encourage you guys to pop your headphone on, because what you're gonna hear will blow your mind. So let's say you're in a room, you don't really have an acoustic treated room, you don't have the expensive pad and all stuff, and you wanna be like, man, I wanna be in this room, and I'm gonna show an example real quick here. Like, if I go on YouTube, I'm gonna type in Abbey Roads Studio plugin. Forgive my spelling. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Here is the and this is where, yeah, this is a small commercial of it. You put your headphones on, and man, this thing is gonna take you in the room, right? And that's what Abbey Road is about. You might not hear the song, but because I'm using some capturing plugins here, so you want to be mixing like you're actually there, right? Abbey Road Studio, right? So that's a small little commercial here just to let you know how big this thing is big. So yes, here's the mix. Right? So let's say you finish. I'm in a professional treated room studio, but I'm gonna use this thing when I get home on my headphones. I've tested. I've listened to it in my headphones. Man, it sounds amazing. I think it's more accurate than NX, although NX is powering this plug. This plugin version here is a little bit more real. Not to say I'm knocking NX. So let's say I finish my mix. Right on. Let's say I was mixing in a room and I want to test it out. So what you do is you put this on your master chain. Make sure you turn it off when you finish your mix, so you don't export with this on. Right? This is just to monitor. This is give you practical, professional judgment. Right? So on what's going on with the left and right speakers. So I'm gonna play the track here.
Put your one in the air and jump. Rocks in the air and jump.
And I'm gonna put on the plugin, and you're gonna hear the left and right. Let's do that.
Flags in the air, foot off the ground, bounce where you at and jump. Put your one in the air and jump. Rocks in the air and jump. Flags in the air, foot off the ground, bounce where you at and jump. It's carnival, police and people ready to party. Oh yes, yes, we out with the mass band. Many beautiful color drive me crazy. Oh yeah,
move to left,
we boiling for this
right.
Jump. Everyone loose and having a good time. Man who might picnic gather round, always us whining to the ground. Turn up the music, we party all night. I wish that this party never done. We pray that this party never done.
And also, I want to hear what the songs on these mid speakers. So take a listen here.
This party never done. We pray that this party never done.
Let's try it fast.
Put your money on the air and jump. Rocks in the air and jump. Flags in the air, foot off the ground. Bounce where you at and jump. Put your money on the air and jump. Rocks in the air and jump. Flags in the air, foot off the ground. Bounce where you at and jump. Country Boulevard. The big truck coming, yes, that's where you find me. Oh yes.
Man, the acoustics is amazing. Make sure you're wearing headphones. You can go on mid side, and you can also do it in 5.1. If I type in Abbey Roads here, they have the 5.1. You can mix in surround song. It's crazy, man. Check it out. So enough of that, right? So I've checked my mix to hear what it sounds and that stuff. Let's see what let's see what we're up against. We're gonna play Britney Spears.
We drinking, make me happy. Oh, money go, we boiling for yes, by the drum. Everyone loose.
Our mix is song pretty darn good, but we're gonna add a little bit more sweetening. If we check our double LM
I'm having a good time. Man, woman, picnic, gather round.
I'm already in a hot zone about -8. You might say, Ray, how the hell you get it together? Allows Britney Spears one, man. What are you gonna do? You're gonna clip this thing, man? A little bit of that. So I'm gonna start off with NLS bus console here. I want to feel of the NLS here, right? And I have a little bit of drive, about 1.4 dB, a little bit of trimming down here, but just by putting on this thing on the chain here.
Turn up the sound and we party all night. I pray that this party never done. We pray that this party never done. We pray that this party never.
I'm adding a little bit of analog texture to it, so I'm letting it sound a little bit more louder without actually going loud on the plug. Right? And this is like the mastering phase. And this is just an example. I'm rolling off a bit of 24 here. I'm gonna boost. I'm boosting a little bit of 239, about 2 dB, and a little bit of 665, about 1 dB. A little bit of 1K, about 2 dB the most. This is okay. I would recommend don't go past half a dB or 2 dB the most. Don't reach 3 dB, or it's best you go back in the mix. You might say, why are you using 2 dB on these things? Because for this mix, we can push a little bit more on it, and we can do it in the mastering, right? So I'm gonna turn on this EQ here. Police and people ready to party. Oh yes, yes, we out with the mass. Notice bastic vocals and the rhythm comes a little bit more forward, a little bit more, present themselves a little bit more to the front. Is this saying because I'm doing this, your mix sound? This kind of help the mix sound a little bit more fuller, without raising volume or raising frequency, right? So I'm gonna play it. Any beautiful color drive me crazy. Oh yeah. Go, powder water till money come. We boiling mud, yes, by the drum. Everyone loose and having a good time. Take it down a little bit. Man, woman, picnic, gather round. Always us whining to the ground. Turn up the music, we party all night. I wish that this party never done. We pray that this party never done. This party. Alright, so Britney Spears is still in the lead, so we're still going to catch up here. So we added some harmonics with the NLS console here, and we're boosting a little bit of EQ here in the mastering. And but now we're going to deal with a little bit of stereo imaging here. I'm going to use the Ozone Advanced Imager. I'm boosting a little bit of 5.1 here on band 2. This is this area right here between 200 to about 1K. I'm boosting a little bit of 5 dB at band 3, which covers the 1K to about the 10K area, the upper mids. I'm boosting a little bit of high mids here as well, and steroizing. So let's see what that sounds like here. Put your hand in the air and jump. Rocks in the air and jump. Rocks in the air, foot off the ground. Say you want to jump to the boulevard. The big truck coming, yes, that's where you find me. Oh yes. We out with the mass man. Old master rum we drinking, make me happy. Oh yeah. You kind of open up the mix a little bit more. Let's go down to Submarine here. And we're going to be adding a little bit of more low end, right? Because we're hearing a little bit more lows on Britney's sound. Here I jump, flags in the air, foot off the ground. And jump, rocks in the air and jump. In the air, foot off the ground, boom, say you want to jump. It's carnival. Police and people ready to party. Oh yes. And notice we're kind of going to the -8.7. We're still kind of keeping that range while we're kind of making the song more beefier, more full, more fat. So Submarine give its own harmonic texture similar to low air max bass or R bass, but it's giving it's using kind of new texturing like something like, I would say like max bass, but a little bit more different technical wise. It's adding harmonic texture basically. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that here. What you can do is you have two sub 1 and sub 2. Here's a cool little Submarine here. We have about 40 kilohertz up to a little bit of 120 here. So those are areas I want Submarine to affect. So I'm gonna turn on sub. Yes, we out with the mass man. Any beautiful color drive me crazy. Oh yeah. Go, powder water till money come. We boiling mud, yes, by the drum. Everyone loose and having a good time. Oh, man, woman, picnic, gather round. Always us whining. Organic resynthesis, right? So I'm getting a little bit more weight on the track here. Not a big difference, but definitely you can notice it, right? So into the ground, turn up the music, we party all night. I wish that this party never done. We
pray that this party never done. We pray that this party never.
Now we're getting close to Britney Spears here, so now I'm gonna move on down the chain here. I'm gonna initialize my limiter. The reason I'm jumping the compressor to the limiter is because I don't want to clip too much. T-Rax is wonderful for this, man. They're amazing. So I'm gonna use T-Rax here. It has its settings here, and we're gonna get a little bit more volume with this thing. So let's play the track.
So put your money on the air and jump. Rocks in the air and jump. Rocks in the air, foot off the ground. Say you want to jump. Put your money on the air and jump. Rocks in the air and jump. Rocks in the air, foot off the ground. Say you want to jump. Don't you pull it back. The big jump.
Let me tell you something about our T-Rax step limiter. This has some advanced harmonic behavior here, so you're preserving and it's kind of boosting transients, preserving the quality of the track while giving it volume. Let's see how much volume we're getting here. Let's play the track back.
Coming best, that's where you find me. Oh yes, yes, we out in the mass man. Old master rum we drinking, make me happy. Oh yeah, go pound and water till money go. We boiling but yes by the drum. Everyone loose and having a good time.
Oh, make a sound, just love me down.
Oh now we party all night. I pray that this party never done.
Now, we're definitely in the ballpark with Britney. I'm going to add one more element. It's going to be the compressor. I'm going to set it to the lowest ratio here on mid side. Putting the attack to about 1 because I want the compressor to more grab the drums. And limiter and compression is one of the major big secrets, one of the biggest secrets actually to get loud mix. And I'm setting release to auto. I'm boosting a little bit of 1.7 dB louder. So let's bypass here and see what we got here.
Oh, man, woman, picnic, gather round. Always us whining to the ground. Turn up the music, we party all night. I wish that this party never done. We pray that this party never done. This
Till we fall like dominoes.
never done. No, so put your money on the air and jump. Rocks in the air and jump. Rocks in the air, foot off the ground. Say you want to jump. Put your money on the air and jump.
Make a sound, just love me down.
Say you want to jump, don't you pull it back. The big truck coming, yes, that's where you find me. Oh yes.
And this song, Britney Spears song, was probably mixed in one of these big studios. And man, we're using our plugs. Now make sure, guys, mixing engineers, you're mixing. Make sure you're mixing using these plugins in your mix session. This is a mastering session I'm doing here, and I'm using quite a little processing here. I have the BX Digital boosting some frequency, the ozone, a little bit of width. I'm using the submarine to drop some subs. The bus compressor, but they're doing small little things, and the stealth limiter, I'm knocking off about 3 dB of limiting here, and the song is still surviving, you know. And we run it with Britney Spears, and we're in the ballpark. Let's check the double LM.
Easy. Oh yeah. Go. Pour the water till money come. We boiling but yes by the drum. Everyone loose and having a good time. Around, always us whining to the ground. Turn up the music, we party all night.
And here's a good part. Now we can test it out. Let's say I want what this track's gonna sound on big subs or small speaker. Here we go. We're gonna test it in the room. So put on your headphone, guys. We're going in the big Britney Spears room. So let's go.
Flags in the air, foot off the ground. Bounce where you want and jump. Put your money on the air and jump. Flags in the air and jump. Flags in the air, foot off the ground. Bounce where you want and jump. It's carnival. Millions and people ready to party. Oh yes, yes, we out with the master. Many beautiful color drive me crazy. Oh yeah, go. Pour the water till money come. We boiling but yes by the drum. Everyone loose and having a good time. Oh, man, woman, picnic, gather round.
So I just want to share that with you guys. Abbey Roads Studio 3 is popping, man. I'm so excited about this plug. It's giving me, man, dead on response here. I'm sure you can hear it in your headphones as well. So remember, guys, this is one of the big secrets. Check out the mid-range, the lower mids, boost a couple of frequency. I'm doing a little mountain here, give it a little mountain feel, and that's what's bringing the mix to a little bit more fat. In combination with harmonics plugins, NLS use a great limiter. T-Rex is one of the best, and we're accumulating the same volume as Britney Spears mix, which she done in the big studio. So guys, don't let anybody tell you can't get the professional sound. Once again, certain hardware might not, the plugin might not sound as the same as the hardware, but dead close, because hardware change over time, but you're getting that fat sound, that professional sound. So if you don't got the gear, man, these plugins can save your life as well. So we'll catch you at the next one, guys, and hit me up on Facebook and we'll chat some more.